consists of ordinary level and advanced level certified teachers and markers from the different regions, and our objective is to provide you with corrections and how to answer questions in mathematics, consists of ordinary level and advanced level certified teachers and markers from the different regions, and our objective is to provide you with corrections of ordinary level and since that line that
Hello dear students, this evening we are looking at the correction of June 2018 paper 2. So wherever you are watching in any of the regions, north, far north, northwest, southwest, littoral, central region, those watching from the west, from the south, and all those who have not mentioned, we greet you all. Alright, so we will begin with the first question. We are looking at paper 2. The first question reads, a shop sells a TV set offering a discount of 15% off the normal price. Reina bought the television set for 357,000. Calculate the normal price of the television set. So this question involves a discount, and since this television set is sold at a discount of 85%, it means that Reina will only pay 85%. And since Reina bought the television set for 357,000, it means this 357,000 is equal to the percentage discount, or is proportional to the percentage discount. So this 85% is equal to the 357,000. Or we can say let that amount be x, and 85% of x will give us 357,000. So 85%, that is 85 on 100 of x, equals 357,000. From here we can solve for x, and x will be equal to 357,000 times 100 divided by 85. So this will give us 357,000 on 85 times 100. 357,000 on 85 times 100. And the result is 420,000. The result is 420,000. Right, the next question. Given that x minus 1 is a factor, given that x minus 1 is a factor of f of x equals 2x cubed plus x squared minus 2x minus 1, show that x minus 1 is a factor of f of x. Show that x minus 1 is a factor of f of x. B, find the other factors of f of x. So with questions like this, if x minus 1 is a factor of f of x, then it means f of 1 should be equal to 0. So we start by equating this factor to 0, so that we can find the root. The root is x equals 1. So since x minus 1 is a factor, f of this root should give us 0. Okay? Because whenever we have a root, f of the root is equal to 0. Okay? So we substitute 1 in this equation, and the result we have is, as you can see, 0. So we have shown that x minus 1 is a factor. So this is the shortest and fastest way to show. Or you can use long division. You look for the remainder will be 0, and then you conclude that it is a factor. Okay? Next, find the other factor. To find the other factor, we can use long division. So to get the other factors, since x minus 1 is already a factor, we divide. We'll have 2x cubed divided by x. That will give us 2x squared. 2x squared times x is equal to 2x cubed. And 2x squared times minus 1 is minus 2x squared. We subtract. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed will have 0. And x squared minus 2x squared will give us 3x squared. We bring down the other terms which have not been used. So minus 2x minus nothing, minus 1 minus nothing. Now at this point we have 3x squared divided by x here. So that gives us 3x. Now 3x times x here will give us 3x squared. 3x times minus 1 will give us minus 3x. If we subtract again at this point, we will have this x minus 1. Okay, we now have x minus 1. We'll have x minus 1. Next, x divided by x here will give us plus 1, and plus 1 times x will give us x. 1 times minus 1 will give us minus 1, right? Hello, welcome to the person that just joined us online. Good evening, how are you doing? Alright, it's nice to meet you online. So we are doing the correction of 2018 paper 2, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so as we walk, if you have your questions, you can ask. What's the name?
His parents.
Alright, nice Terence, because we are supposed to also continue with our classes tomorrow, right? Alright, so
network here is very, very poor. I've been trying for 2 minutes. The network is very, very poor.
oh, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so I was just doing the correction of this problem, as you can see on your screen. Okay, you just go through, okay? You have any question, you can ask. All right. All right, so now we move to the next question. The next question is question 3. So we have find the value of x given that 2 to the power x plus 1 equals 1 over 4 to the power 3. 2 to the power x plus 1 equals 1 over 4 to the power 3. So what do we do to solve this one? Any ideas from you? Terence, any ideas?
I'm trying to see what you're doing, but it's not. I can't see what you're doing. I don't know what's happening, man.
You cannot see my screen?
Yes, sir.
And you are just sitting and I'm talking.
I was trying to see if I can fix it.
Oh my god. I hope you can see it now.
Yes, I can see it now. Yes, it's visible now.
Consists of ordinary level and
Okay, so I was at this point. So we are here. We can look at the question now. So how do we attempt this question?
This could let me see. 1 over. So you start by, I don't know, by bringing like terms together, converting the 4 raised to the power 3.
Alright, so here we know that 1 over 4 to the power 3, we have to make the bases to be the same. The base here on the left hand side is 2. We have to make the base on the right hand side to also be 2. Okay, so on the right hand side we have 1 over 4 to the power 3. So this can be written as 1 over 2 to the power 2 further raised to the power 3, because 4 is 2 to the power 2, right? So we further raise that to the power 3, and finally we have 1 over 2 to the power 6, which is the same as 2 to the power minus 6. This step is clear, right? Are you there? Ah, the connection is still disturbing. So now that the bases are the same, we can now equate both sides. And at this point, we'll have 2 to the power x plus 1 to be equal to 2 to the power minus 6. Okay. So since the bases are the same, the powers must also be the same. Now at this point, x plus 1 is equal to minus 6. And finally, x should be equal to minus 7. X should be equal to minus 7. Any questions? Alright, so we take the b part to solve this equation. 5 minus x over 5 minus 2 minus x 10. To simplify this, alright, this is not an equation. To simplify this expression, so we just have to look for the LCM, which is 10. Now 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times the numerator, and then 10 divided by 10 is 1. So minus 1 times that numerator. We can now expand and bring like terms together, or bring like terms together. So this will give us 10 minus 2x minus 2 plus x plus x, all that on 10, which should be equal to 8 minus x on 10. 8 minus x on 10. So this is the solution to this equation. So this is the solution to this question.
The mail was very, very bad.
Yeah, I see. That's why I'm sending the same questions to the WhatsApp group as well.
It's
So
because
that,
we are not having like this.
oh, I see. Can we go to the next?
Yes, I'm still talking to Luna. I was out of class because of the network. I just came back. The
Oh,
network
I
was
see.
very disturbing.
Oh my god. If you continue to disturb, you can just solve in the WhatsApp group, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm sending the same thing. If you check your phone, you'll see that I'm sending it to class also.
Okay.
Alright, can I go to the next page?
Okay, so no problem. Okay.
The function f is defined on the set of real numbers as f of x equals 2 minus 8x squared. Evaluate f of 2. Factorize f of x completely. Hence, solve for x in that equation. So we start by looking for f of 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so can you do f of 2 for us?
Yes, sir. Can I do this one?
F of 2 means just put 2 in the function, that is all. In the function, when you see f, just replace it by 2. This is how you get f of 2. F of 2 will be equal to 2 minus 8. I have to place this x here by 2. I have 8x squared, so I'm going to replace that x by 2 and square it. Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm seeing, sir.
So that is f of 2. You can now simplify. So this will be equal to 2 minus 32, which is equal to minus 30. That's f of 2. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I'm seeing this one.
Okay. Alright, let me just check something backwards behind. Okay, take a snapshot of this. So these are f of 2. Now b, they say we should factorize f of x completely. To factorize f of x completely, we'll first of all start by seeing that this 2 is a common factor. So we'll factor it out so that we can have a clear difference of 2 squares. So we have 2, we factor out this 2, we have 1 minus 4x squared. So we have 2 into 1 minus 4x squared. Then, to factorize 1 minus 4x squared, this is a difference of 2 squares. The method to do is like this. The square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2, and square root of x squared is x. So we have 1 minus 2x into 1 plus 2x. This is how you factorize difference of 2 squares. Any question? So to factorize the difference of 2 squares, we just put 2 brackets like that. Okay. Can you see what I'm writing?
Yeah, I'm seeing this.
Yeah, let's go ahead. The square root of 1 is 1, so I'll put 1 in this first bracket here. Then there I'll put 1. The square root of 4 is 2. So 2, and the square root of x is x. In this other bracket I'll do the same thing. 2x. Then in one of the brackets I'll put plus, other one I'll put minus. So plus here, then the other bracket minus. And I factorize this completely. This is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I'm getting you, sir.
Right now the C part is saying hence we should solve for f of x in solve for x in f of x equals 0. Solve for x in f of x equals 0. So here we just have to equate this to 0. Equate this to 0, what are we going to have? We'll have 2 into 1 minus 2x into 1 plus 2x equals 0. So when you have this type of equation, either the first is equal to 0 or the second is equal to 0. So what I mean is either 1 minus 2x equals 0 or 1 plus 2x equals 0. So you have 1 minus 2x equals 0 or 1 plus 2x equals 0. And solving for x, you have x equals a half or x equals negative a half. Any question?
So I'm a little confused where you have the half x equals half.
This one is a
Like
simple
inside.
linear equation now.
Okay.
1
Yes,
plus
yes, I
2x equals
understand now.
0. You carry the 1 to the right hand side, it becomes negative 1.
Yes, I understand me also.
Okay, then you divide both sides by 2. You want me to solve it again?
No, sir, it's okay. I understand now.
Oh, okay.
I acknowledge
I see. Alright. So that is it. Let's look at the next question. So now here we have this truth table. And so we should copy and complete this truth table. To copy and complete it. Alright, so let me just sketch it again here. So the elements. Yeah, so that's the truth table. So we have to complete this truth table. Now, this first column here wants us to put the negation of P. The negation of P. And this means that whenever P is true, the negation becomes what? False, right? So this will be false. Now here P is true again. So this will be false. Here P is false. So the negation of false is true. Then here it is false. The negation of false is true again. So at this point now, we have to now obtain those other values that are being asked for. We have now Q and the negation of P. So the AND statement is true only when P and this first one, when this first one is true, and this second one is also true, then this AND statement is the one that looks like this thing that looks like intersection. So when this one is true and this one is true, then the AND statement will also be true. Are we together there?
Okay, sir, yes.
Now, so we are working with Q, this Q here, and this is the negation of P. So in this first case, Q is true, and the negation of P is false. So what will be the answer here? False, right?
Okay, it's false.
Yeah, this one will be false because one is false. So this one is only true when both are true. This second one will still be false, right?
Yeah.
This second one will still be false because here it is false and here it is false. Now this third one
It's true.
is true. Yes, because both are true.
Because
And the last one will be
false.
false. So this is this simple question like this with let's say draw for 5 marks or how free 5 marks.
No, you don't know. Time how difficult to have.
Which difficult? Okay, how many things have you written here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have just written 8 things.
I'm saying that only when you know you'll be in your master, you will not even know to 1 minute there. When you know, you just write and pass. When you don't know.
Since our preps will be now like our preps is this continuous answering of past questions, I think by the end of answering most of these past questions like this, then it's going to be very easy at the end.
No, it's going to be easy, sir. Very, very easy. Because once you see questions and they have the thing is that they are always even though they are not the same question, but you have the idea how to solve and you'll be able to solve up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have the idea
Like
to
this one,
solve
another question comes.
the same question many times, then yeah, okay,
Even no matter how they teach, they're still going to solve it.
that's another thing. Okay, let's go to the next question now. I am not understanding how the students are saying that they cannot join this class online. They just have decided not to come online. That's their problem. I'm not kidding myself. Okay, let me see if I can send these ones to them.
Just that, I think you said that they did some innovation on that side. It's if it now it's not like before that you see classroom. Now I'm not even seeing classroom. I saw the one red says that join class. One red dialogue box.
Yeah, this one now, when you click on join class, it takes you to the class directly.
Okay, okay. I'm sure that's where they're facing it.
Yes, they have to move with technology. If they like, let them stay behind. If it is to chat with their friends on Facebook, nobody will complain. They will look for all methods to succeed in what they are doing. If it's to go on this or that platform, they will succeed. Now that it's this one, where they will complain. Is somebody learning for me? Nobody is learning for anybody. Right, so these are the values I've already put. The next question now. Alright, the next question. I hope you have subscribed to our channel.
Yes, I've subscribed, sir.
Very
I've
important.
subscribed. Ever since ever since before I even joined
Okay,
the class,
very,
I really started
very,
subscribed
very
already.
important. Alright, here we have, given that sine alpha is equal to 5 on 12, this is where students will not be happy with to see the teacher's face. Given that sine alpha is equal to 5 on 12, find cos alpha and tan alpha. Very easy questions. It's easy, right? So the thing you have to do is just draw a triangle. This is a right angle triangle. Let this be an alpha here. This is my alpha. Now they have given me sine alpha. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Can you see that?
I'm seeing
Yeah,
sir.
because so I use what they have given me here. Sine alpha will be equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So we have my opposite to this alpha is 5, hypotenuse is 12. So I need this side. How do I get this side so that I can now use it to find cos and tan? So to find one other side, if you call this side x, this side x will be given by, that side x will be equal to the hypotenuse squared, that is 12 squared, minus the square of the other short side, so minus 5 squared.
It's fine. That's good.
That will give us 144 minus 25, right?
Yes, sir.
So 144 minus 25 is equal to what number?
Well, 25 is one,
Hello and welcome, Ezekiel. Put on your microphone. You are still looking for the answer you cannot see.
Hello, sir.
You have not see, you don't have the answer yet.
Not yes, sir. 144 minus 65 will be 100 and 190.
Fear, as I say, fear. So this is my alpha. Opposite is 5. Hypotenuse is 12. So this other side will be x. So from here, using Pythagoras theorem, x will be equal to the longest side squared minus the square of the other short side. So that will give us the square root of 119. From here, you can find cos alpha. From SOHCAHTOA, what is cos? From SOHCAHTOA, cos comes from the ka. Cos is, let me write it this way. SOHCAHTOA. So, this so means that sine alpha is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And then we have ka. Ka gives us cos is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And then we have toa, the last one. Toa here means tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So if I'm using cos now here, my cos alpha will be equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, that is ka. Adjacent, and my adjacent side is the square root of 119 over hypotenuse, which is 12. And we can now find tan. What is tan? Alpha. Yes, what will be tan alpha? What will be tan alpha? Tan alpha will be opposite over adjacent from toa. Any questions?
I want to talk about this SOHCAHTOA it's like
Please increase your volume.
it's like a formula.
It's a mnemonic. Helps you to remember. Are we together? Any question? Alright, I think we can move to the next question. So the next is this question. Question 7. A ship sails from a port A on a bearing of 60 to port B. From port B, the ship sails to C on a bearing of 150. Given that AB is 60 kilometers and BC is 70 kilometers, calculate the distance AC and the bearing of A from C. If you do not answer that last one, I'm not sure that you answer this one now. The first thing to do with this one is to draw the diagram. And bearings are always written with 3 letters like this. 3 digits, sorry. So start by looking at the ship, and bearings are measured from the north clockwise. So a ship sails from port A to B on bearing of 060. So this is what we will have for the diagram. So you start the north pole, it moves from A. At A, this is the direction of the north. It sails from point A to point B on a bearing of 60. So bearings are measured clockwise from the north line. So this angle means that the angle is 60 degrees. It moves from A to B. And the total distance AB is 60 kilometers. This is 60 kilometers here. total distance AB is 60 kilometers. That's why we have 60 here. Now the question continues by saying that from this point B, the ship sails on a bearing of 150 to point C. So from B, I'll put another north line to indicate north again here. So from this point now, it now sails 150. So I'll measure an angle from this north line up to 150 degrees. And that is it. It now sails from that point to point C. This is point C. And point C is at a distance of 70 kilometers from point B. So this is what we have, point C. Now they want us to find the distance AC. This distance AC. So how can we find this distance AC? We can first of all start by checking if this angle here is a right angle triangle, and then we can use Pythagoras. But if it's not a right angle triangle, then we are going to use either the sine rule or the cosine rule. You know about those rules? Hello, are you there? Okay, so our AC is this line AC. Now let us look, if you look at this angle here, we start this angle here is 60, right? Because this is a Z line, a transversal of two parallel lines. This node is parallel to this other node, so this angle here must be equal to this angle here. Now if you look at this total angle on the right side of the line, this is supposed to be 180 degrees. This first part is already 150, so what is left here is, to make it 180 is 30, right? Now we now see that this angle like this is a right angle triangle. Since this is a right angle triangle, it means you can calculate our AC. Our AC now becomes a hypotenuse. So our AC will now become the hypotenuse. So the AC now will be equal to 60 squared plus 70 squared, the root of that. So we have the root of 8,500. That will give us 92.2 kilometers. 92.2 kilometers. Okay. All right. So the B part of the equation says you find the bearing of A from C. The bearing of A from C means we should start from C and measure the bearing. So the bearing will be this angle like this. Start by from this node, this pole, go round up to this point. Okay. So here we already have 30 degrees. And let's see how we get this angle. So we have these lines. So this will be the bearing. This red line like this will be the bearing. So how do we get this angle? Now we already know that this is 90 plus 90 plus 90. This is 270. We need to add this small angle here. It means that if we know this small angle, we add it to 270, we will have this bearing. Or if we know this other angle here, this one, and we add to this other angle and subtract from 360, we'll have this bearing. So the bearing will be 270 degrees plus x. So our problem now is to find this x. So let's find x. So I've extracted that point out. So how can we get x? So with x, if you can look for this theta using this right angle triangle, our tan theta will be equal to opposite, which is 60, over adjacent, which is 70. And theta will be equal to tan inverse of 60 on 70, which is 40.6. So we know that this angle is 40.6. This one is 40.6. And we know that this angle like this here is 30. So what you can do is we add the 40.6 to 30, and then we subtract it, because this total angle should be 90 degrees, right, to find x. Because x plus theta plus 30 will give us 90. Therefore x should be 90 minus theta minus 30. So our x is equal to 19.4 degrees. Therefore this bearing should be 270 plus this x, which gives us 289.4 degrees. That's the bearing. Bearing gives us 289.4 degrees. Okay, the next question is question 8. So figure 1 shows a sector of a circle with center O. So this is a sector of a circle with center O and radius 10 centimeters. Angle AOC is 38 degrees. Calculate the length of the straight line AC. Give your answer to one decimal place. So if you calculate the length of the straight line AC, giving an answer to one decimal place. Alright, so let's tackle this question. So this is the diagram, and this line that passes and meets the midpoint of AC, we divide this figure into two equal parts. Or we can look at this triangle OAC as an isosceles triangle in which two sides are equal. Means that this angle here is equal to this angle here, right? So this line will bisect this angle into 19 degrees and 19 degrees, giving us that which sums up to that angle. Now we know that this length is 10, and so the length should normally be 10 also. Therefore these two angles here are right angle triangles. Okay, so it means that if we can find this distance AP and multiply by 2, we'll have AC. So we just use Pythagoras to find it, right? We cannot use Pythagoras now. We are constrained because we know the length of only one side. We have one side and one angle, so we must use trigonometry. So we say sine 90 degrees is equal to opposite. I'm using opposite because I'm looking for this opposite, AP. So sine 90 degrees should be equal to AP on 10, opposite over hypotenuse. And from here, AP will be equal to 10 sine 19 degrees. So 10 times sine 19 degrees, which is 3.25. So our AP is 3.25. Therefore, AC will be equal to AP times 2. And that gives us 2 times 3.25, which is equal to 6.5. I should give my answer to one decimal place. So the answer is 6.5. Question 9. Figure 2 shows a road network for towns A, B, and C, and D. Determine the number of ways to move from A to C. So this is our network. In how many ways can we move from A to C? So we can move from A to C by moving from A to B, then to C directly, or is there another way again to move from A to C? If you move from A to B and once you use this path, we get to D, but from D you cannot come back. If you use this path, there is no way. So how many ways are there to move from A to C? You have just one way, right? Okay, we have this other part. Okay, this one is actually pointing down, just that the diagram is not very clear. So this suppose it's actually like this. Alright, it's good now. So we have two ways. Either we move directly following this line, or we move to point B and move like this. Then to move from B to D, so from B to D, we can either go like this directly, 1, or we move like this and continue 2, or we move in this direction, 3. So we have 3 ways. 2, 3. So we have 3 ways to move. Then how many arcs are here? Number of arcs we just count now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. So from each point to another point is an arc. So arc 1, arc 2, arc 3, arc 4, arc 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 arcs. Question 10, figure 3 shows a triangle PQR with PR equals 6 and PD equals 2. DE is parallel to PQ. So DE is parallel to PQ. Given that this QR is 4.5 centimeters, find ER. If QR is equal to 4.5, find ER. So we are going to use scales, the idea of scales, linear scales. So use the idea of linear scales. So we have dr from D to R. Since we know this, so we have dr divided by PR. So dr divided by short divided by long should be equal to short divided by long. ER on QR, right? So from here our dr we have okay, let's see what we have here. So we have a PR is 6. So from P to R is 6. Then from D to R should be equal to 6 minus 2. Okay, because PD is 2, so 6 minus 2, right? Should be 4 on 6. So we're working with respect to small triangle on big triangle. So for this small triangle, DR is 4. Where for the big triangle, the same dimension has been extended to 6. And then for this other big triangle too, on this side, small triangle ER on, for the big triangle RQ. And our RQ is 4.5. So from here you can cross multiply, and our ER will be equal to 4 times 4.5 on 6, which is 3 centimeters. So ER is 3 centimeters. Now find the area of PQR. The area of triangle PQR, that's a big triangle, is 3.5 centimeters squared. Calculate the area of the trapezium PDEQ. So to get the area of this parallelogram, we just need the area of the big triangle minus the area of the small triangle. Okay, so that will be the area of this section of the parallelogram should be equal to area of a big triangle, that is PQR, minus area of small triangle DER. So that will give us half base times height for the small one DER, which is 6 centimeters squared, and the big one is 13.5. So 13.5 minus 6.5 gives us 13.5 minus 6 gives us 7.5 centimeters. Now question 11. Figure 4 is a cyclic quadrilateral and PF is the tangent to the circle with angle SQR is 70. SQR, so we have SQR to be 70 and PQO. So we have PQO, O should be the center, is 50. Calculate the angles marked beta, alpha, and theta. So let's look at beta. This angle is 50. This is a radius, and this is another radius. So this is an isosceles triangle, right? Therefore means that this other angle here is also 50. So 50 plus 50, then plus beta should be 180. So you have 50 plus 50 plus beta equals 180, and beta should be equal to 80 degrees. And then now for alpha, let's look at the case of alpha. So you know the radius and the tangent are perpendicular, right? Because this is a tangent, so they have drawn it this funny way. Radius and tangent are perpendicular, and this angle here is 50. This angle here is 50. So what is left for alpha? Alpha is all of this angle, all of this place. So 50 plus alpha is 90. Alpha will be equal to 40. And then now for the angle theta. The angle theta, we have the sum of opposite angles. For cyclic quadrilateral is equal to 180. So we have now theta plus this 50 here, plus the opposite angle which is 70. So theta plus 50 plus 70 should be equal to 180. And theta will be equal to 60 degrees. So our theta is equal to 60 degrees. The position vectors of P and Q are 2i and j and 3 on 2i plus 4j respectively. Given that PQ equals 2 on 5QR, find the position vector of the point R. So PQ is equal to 2 on 5OR. We want to look for the position vector of the point R. So our OR should be equal to 5 on 2 PQ. So we need PQ. PQ is Q minus P, right? So this gives us 2 on 3 i's plus 4 j's minus 2 i's plus j's. So when we simplify, this is the result that we'll have at the end. And of course the magnitude is minus 10 on 3 squared. The magnitude of PQ, what's the magnitude of PQ? Should be equal to PQ here is equal to what? Okay, so the magnitude to be equal to root 5. The magnitude of OP, okay, they said OP rather. OP is this 2i's plus j, so the magnitude is that, and the tan A should be equal to y component on x component. So A will be equal to tan inverse of a half, that is 26.6 degrees. 26.6 degrees. Question 13. Given that minus 1a is the midpoint of the line segment 0 minus 2b, 8. Find the values of a and b. So the midpoint is just the average of the individual components. Okay, so we have 0 plus b for the x divided by 2, the minus 2 plus 8 divided by 2. This is the midpoint, right? It should be equal to this value that we have here. It should be equal to minus 1, 8. Minus 1a. So from here, equate components b on 2 should be negative 1. So b should be equal to negative 2. And a should be equal to 3 because 8 minus 2 is 6 on 2, which is 3. So a is equal to 3. Question 14. A triangle with vertices 3, 1, 6, 1, 3, 5 is transformed by this matrix. Find the image a prime, b prime, c prime of ABC under this transformation. So just write the coordinates of the triangle as in the form of column matrices. Okay, so the a prime should be equal to this matrix times the first point. The first point is 3, 1, so that gives us 6, 2. B prime will be this transformation matrix times the points b, which is 6, 1. This will equally give us 12, 2. And c prime will be this matrix times the coordinate of c, that's 3, 5. And that gives us that. So these are the coordinates of the image. So what type of transformation is this? Now look at it. A was 3, 1, now it is 6, 2. B was 6, 1, now it is 12, 2. C was 3, 5, now it is 6, 10. So what type of a transformation is this? What type of transformation is this? It's an enlargement because they have made it to be bigger. So this is an enlargement. That brings us to the last question. We'll be looking at paper 2 on Wednesday. Paper 2 part B on Wednesday. That is a essay part. Now a bag contains 3 white balls and 7 red balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag and not replaced. The second ball is drawn. Find the probability that the 2 balls are white. One is white and the other is red. So this is draws without replacements. Some draws are done with replacement, some are without replacements. So the probability that the 2 balls are white, that means the first is white and the second is white. So the first ball being white is number of white balls, this is 3 on 10. Then when they have withdrawn the first ball, how many balls are left? 9. And if the first ball is white, then the next one should be 2 now or 9, right? So the first ball is white, and the number of white balls left should be 2 out of 9 balls now. That gives us 1 on 15. The first is white and the second is red. So if the first ball drawn is white, we still have 3 on 10. And how many red balls are there? We have not touched any red balls, so we still have 7 red balls. But out of how many balls now? Out of 9. So this will give us 7 on 30. Okay, so 3 here 1, 3 here 3. So this is it. Thank you so much for being there, guys, and we will continue on Wednesday to revise the section B of paper 2. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.